Okay, guys, this is part 3 of 6-2 profile, manifester, 6-2 profile. Yeah. So at the age of 50, I got to China. I didn't know anybody. I didn't speak the language, obviously. But actually, I had connected with this girl online before. Her name was Lucy. And I had connected with her, and uh, we kind of realized, or we kind of agreed on that we could do two things. We could either have a love relationship, or we could have a business relationship. And when I got there, it's really interesting. When I got there, she was supposed to pick me up at the airport. She lives in this city called Hefei, and she was supposed to pick me up. She was supposed to pick me up at Hefei Airport, and I got stuck in Shanghai because of the rain and the weather, and I missed the plane. So she came that day, and I wasn't there, and she already went out and rented me an apartment and stuff like that, and so she thought I breezed her. And then somehow I made a phone. I called her and I said, "Listen, I'm so sorry." She said, "Oh, she was really angry. I waited for you. I came to the airport. I rented you an apartment, and it's blah blah blah. And then you didn't show up. And you're probably still in your country." I said, "No, no, 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 no. I got stuck in Shanghai because of the weather, and we missed the plane. And anyway," so I said, "Tomorrow I will be there. Tomorrow I will be there." She said, "You sure?" I said, "I promise. Tomorrow I'll be there." And so the next day, of course, I showed up, obviously, and then she looked at me. It was like, "Oh, I have this long hair, hippie kind of a guy," and she was like, "This guy, you know what?" So anyway, she took me to my place, this apartment, and China was a culture shock, and the most culture shock that you could ever think of as a culture shock. What a culture shock! It was like, I felt like I was in some place, and I was the only one, because at that place in that city, Hefei, Anhui province, you don't see any foreigners. I was one of a handful of foreigners in a 1.5 million people city, and it was just like, whoa. I was like, and here I am, a vegetarian. Oh, by the way, I didn't tell you that at the age of 50, before I came to China, I decided to quit eating meat, because I thought in China they eat all kinds of dog meat and stuff like that, and I said, just not to be in trouble with anything like that, I'm not interested in going that way. And I just said, okay. And that's actually the compassionate thing for the animals started also. So I was walking around. I found this apartment I had I sat in one room on my bed. I didn't feel like it was so, I wasn't used to that. And so I told her that I really didn't like this place, and maybe we could look around for another place. So I went around, looked around, and I found this kind of nice 2-bedroom place. And I think I paid 690 baht, 700 baht. It was like 700 RMB, which is like maybe $100 a month rent. Okay, so went around, and Lucy took me around looking for jobs, for teaching jobs, and it was so easy to find teaching jobs, because they were looking really in need for teachers. And so I decided to basically just work and try to make money, save some money, put some money aside, so that I can do all kinds of, getting off the roof. I'm off the roof. I'm at the age of 50, getting off the roof, and I met some interesting people. I met some people, started playing football there. It was amazing, I was still at 50. I was still fast. I could still play, and I was a football player. I didn't tell you guys about that, but wow, my life, I don't even know where to go back or where to start. Just basically talking about the off the roof kind of thing. So I started getting work everywhere. As I went, I would get jobs, like where I was before, going to interview for jobs, and you have to wait to see you get it or you don't get it and things like that. But here I got every job I went to, I got. So I was working a lot. I was working at a certain point like 7 days a week, but I was enjoying it. And people are seeking me out. People were looking up to me, like, unbelievably. I was teaching at the university. I had many Uh, Students, of course, young people. Young people. I was teaching at the universities, and I was teaching life in English. I wasn't teaching English because I didn't teach the grammar and stuff like that. I was just giving people different thoughts and different ideas. I came there to plan things, and also being a manifester. We just here to inform. So I was informing people in different ways, and I was planting seeds in people's minds. Now I look back at it, in China, and I spent 12 years in China, and in that 12 years, I have planted many seeds. I've had more than 5,000 students, and I've had different students change their thoughts and their ideas and going to different places. I had a couple of girls, or 3 or 4 girls, that decided to go and work on a cruise ship because I had planted these things about for them to go out and see the world. Because in China, when the students graduate, the first thing they just get a job and get married and buy a house, and they're stuck for the next 30 years. And I planted seeds in their minds to see something different in a different way. And many of them took different roads and things like that. So, and I'm still in lots of connections with a lot of my ex-students, and they've definitely seen me as a role model. There's no question about that. I feel that. So I started making money. I started saving money. I brought my children back and forth, and they would stay with me for a while. And my relationship with my kids became much better. My kids and I, my 2 sons right now, 31 and 27, I think I have a very good relationship with them. We're pretty close. We're pretty tight. Life just started getting better. If somebody had told me at the age of 20 that at the age of 64 will be the best time of my life, I would have said, "Hey, are you kidding me, guys? Are you kidding me? What kind of story, what kind of fairy tales are you trying to tell me?" Because we think that at 64 we're old. Shit, I'm younger now than I was before. There's no question about it. I'm younger than I was when I was in my 30s. I feel amazing because the life I have right now is such amazing. So I got married one more time. In China to a Chinese girl, Sage. That's strange. It's strange because she's 26 now and I'm 64, so that's kind of a difference. But she's in China and I moved to Thailand in 2017. That's it. I had China and the romance between China and I was over. Just like everything else in life, everything ends, but it was time to go. So I had an amazing time in China. Wherever I went, I met interesting people. I started businesses and things worked. I did all kinds of things, things worked. Everything I did worked. It just worked because the universe allowed it to work. Because that was my time. That was my time to shine when I got off the roof. And then in 2017, I went to, every year I was going to this, in Thailand, to this island called Koh Chang for during my winter holiday. I'd spend like a month and a half there. My son and I were there one time. It was an amazing time. We spent there 6 weeks together. And then the last year that I went there, I said to myself, okay, it's time to come and move to China and live in Thailand. And I told all those people that were around, I said, I'm going to come and move back to Thailand. I'm going to live in Thailand. They said, no, you don't live in Thailand. You just come, you enjoy for a little bit of time, and then you leave, and you come back. This is how it is. I said, well, for you guys, but for me, I thought like this, wow, I come here for a month and a half, and I love this place. It's amazing, it's beautiful. Why can't I be here the whole time? It's because of people, their thoughts were, they were putting their issues on me because they needed to make money, and they had these jobs there. They were I said, I'll come here and I'll teach online, or I'll find a job here teaching in the universities here. So in 2017 on my birthday, I came to, everything worked. Everything worked because I was off the roof, and I'm here to make things happen, especially also being a manifester. You just initiate things. I'm an initiator. And so I remember on my birthday I came and I took all my stuff, all the stuff that I had, and it was like overweight, and I went over to this woman and I said, on the airplane. I said, come on, today's my birthday, and come on, just let me take my stuff, And so she said, she said, let me see your passport. I showed her my passport. It said right. She was right. I didn't lie to her. It's my birthday. She goes, shh, go, and she gave me, that's just how things worked. They just rolled, And I went to, where did I go? Where did I go? Oh, and I went to, moved to Chiang Mai. I got a really nice place in Chiang Mai, and that's a huge story already as it is, but it was really nice. I met some interesting people, and I started teaching online, and I was working for some company, and then slowly I was working too much. I was working I had 15 classes a day because I was just trying to get as much money as possible, just to make money, so I don't have to rely on my savings. I wanted to feel that feeling of also just whatever you do, it works. And then I was planting seeds in people's minds. I was not teaching English again. I was just telling them about the compassion for the animals, and how we should be more compassionate to the world, to each other. And I was about different things, and people were just seeking my knowledge, because again, I got this knowledge from the first 30 years of trial and error. So if there's anything I could tell, if there's any advice I could tell, people, the 6'2" people, is that I would just say, observe everything. Just observe, because they're going to come to you. At a certain point, they're going to come to you, and they will come to you. They will come to you. Don't worry. And then you see how things will change. Then I found out on August 14th, on a Tuesday at 2 p.m., which is really relevant in my point, because I was born on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. My friend read my chart, and he told me what I was, my chart, and it was that. From that moment, I just dove right in, and I realized everything resonated with me, and I said, wow. I said, because I was born 7/7/55, July 7th, 1955. And I always thought that would be a lottery number. I would win the lottery. Well, at that time, on the 14th of August, 2018, I won the lottery. Because I found out my human design, and then I just went deep into it. And then I took a human design journey. I moved to Kopangan, because I'm an island person. I moved to Kopangan, and my son challenged me. He asked me, Dad, how are you going there? And I said, I'm going to fly. He said, no, that's not you. You're different. Ride your bicycle. All right. So I bought a really nice bicycle, and I call this the human design journey, which I didn't know anything about human design. I just got into it, but I knew it was something. And as a manifester, I'm just here to inform. So I just basically told people about it. Just told them, and then they would have to find out their own. Go to YouTube, go to whatever, but human design, this is something amazing. And I rode the bicycle it was 1,200 kilometers. And on the way, I told many people about this human design thing, and it was like an amazing trip. It took me 12 days, 100 kilometers a day. I didn't even look at the map. I didn't even look at the map, and I always get weirded out when I just fly and I need to figure out how to get the ticket, and I didn't like that thing, But here I was going on a 1,200 to 1,500 kilometer ride on a bicycle, and I didn't even look at the map. I just looked at the map one time. I said, "Oh, okay. I was up here, let's say, and I had to go down here." I said, "Okay, just go in a straight line, and that's it." And one day, it was hot, and I was riding the bicycle on the highway on the side, and I was on a momentum, and then this big truck, honks the horn at me and wants me to stop, and I was just like, I was kind of bothered a little bit, but just I kept going, and then he did again. So I said, okay. So I stopped, and there's a tall, huge truck, and this guy comes out of the truck with 2 bottles of water. The universe. I had water, but it doesn't matter. It was just a show of this, this wonderful feeling that, here's somebody to help you. I got to Champon, and I got in, and I came to Chiang Mai. This was I got here in October, the beginning of October. Okay, so yeah, this is just the third part. I'm going to do some more videos on it. I will tell you more stuff, but this was just basically the first 3 parts about the differences about the first part, the trial error, and the second part about being on the roof, and the third part being off the roof. So all you guys out there, if you're, I know you're struggling, and know because six tours struggle a lot because they're not sure of anything. Like is anybody ever sure of anything anyway? But just like what I'm trying to say is that hang in there, because the third part is going to be the most amazing. This is the best time in my life, the best time, and I had manifested this. It's a process. I manifested without really knowing how I manifested this life that I'm living right now. But being a 6'2" is part of it. This is the third part of it. This is off the roof. I'm off the roof now, and then I'm on the island right now. I'm on the island, and I'm feeling the vibes from people, because I'm feeling people coming up to me. I'm feeling that people feel that I have this something that I can help them with certain things, because the experience of life. Peace, love, and compassion. Compassion for the animals that we're doing them. We're not doing them anything good. We need to change. I love you guys, and I hope that some of this stuff I'm telling you helps you a little bit, because I didn't know, and if somebody had told me that, I would have really seen a little bit different. Peace.